Hey, hello, and welcome back. I am Lori Andros, and today we are going to deviate just a bit from our series on crystal and stone questions, and we are going to dive into a conversation about the November Stone Ally of the Month. As I prepared for a completely different topic today, Magnetite, our stone ally for November, really was getting my attention. And it has a lot to say. Wow, I feel like it is a perfect ally as we lean into this month, as we lean into this week in particular, where we have election things going on. We all know that things have been heating up. They've been incredibly polarized, and the stones have a lot to say. Now, you may be wondering how I selected the Stone Ally for the month, and this is something that I do as an annual forecast in December. As 2024 is winding down, I'll be doing the same for 2025. So last year in December, when I sat down and drew the cards for this year, Magnetite is who stepped forward. And at that moment, I thought it was really an interesting ally to arrive. And when it emerged, it had an energy around how we magnetize things in our lives. And its immediate message invited us to really be aware of where our energy is and how we're bringing balance into our world, how we're balancing ourselves, maintaining balance within. And I also felt a really deep curiosity at the time of the forecast because I knew that this was going to be a very big election, that there was going to be a lot of energy around this. I could just feel it already back in last December. I'm sure you could too. No surprise, right? And no surprise that it really has moved into that at just an even bigger level than I think a lot of us could have imagined. And at the same time, I think a lot of us are recognizing our own stories of fear and worry and deep emotions emerging as we consider different possibilities for outcome and some of the things that are being said, how they're unfolding, what we believe, what we don't believe, where we feel like there's been a bit of a smokescreen in our world and where we want to pull back the veils. Well, Magnetite is really here this month to support us with all of those energies that are showing up, things that are emerging and leaving us in a really unsettled place. About a week ago, I sat down and I took notes on Magnetite as I prepared for the Sanctuary New Moon message. New Moon was on November 1st, and also on the midpoint of the fall season, which is a really beautiful day to have that soft, introspective energy supported by both the midpoint and the new moon. And Magnetite had a lot to say. So I'm going to lean a little bit into those notes and some of the messages that were shared. And I'm going to get a little bit more specific as we lean into this week and we look at the energy of the election and how that is present in our world. Because I've already used the word polarizing, as you already know. This is an extremely polarized energy. The beautiful thing about Magnetite is that it is here to balance the energy of polarity and to support us in knowing what it is to find that balance within ourselves. Often when we want to see it in the outer world, we have to create it within first. Actually, all the time, when we desire to see something in the outer world, we need to create it within. So Magnetite's going to support us in that process. Much of what happens when we're in a polarized environment and when the energy in our world becomes heightened in a polarized energy, we begin to have fears emerge, heavy emotions, big, deep emotions, things that we didn't realize were present, things that we had not been feeling. They begin to show up. They come into our awareness, into our presence, into our consciousness. And Magnetite helps us to be present with them without feeling overwhelmed or consumed. It helps us to process our emotions, process our fears, to recognize the illusion that maybe is wrapped around our fear, to recognize the ways that we've bought into a story or belief system that isn't aligned or isn't our truth. And I think this is something that we could all really benefit from at this time and really lean into even more. Okay, so let's talk about this energy of balancing polarities. Magnetite really invites us to look at the places where we are experiencing a polarized energy. So consider masculine, feminine, our relationship to empowerment, disempowerment, feeling connected with the earth and spirit, feeling both spirit and earth honored and recognizing where it's been dishonored, feeling receptive and feeling directive. These are wonderful places to look when we start to delve into polarized energy and begin to recognize how we can balance it. I really feel like there's a dance between masculine and feminine. Well, we can see it in such direct ways. How is the feminine being honored and dishonored? How is the healed masculine being honored and dishonored? How are we honoring and dishonoring both within ourselves? I think those are great questions to just sink into and do a little bit of reflection around and consider within ourselves and allow the energy of magnetite to draw forward the stories that we've allowed to be hidden and veiled. So when I say draw forward, magnetite has this ability of actually magnetizing the energy, magnetizing the stories that have been hidden and allowing them to be revealed. How cool is that? It's such a gentle process as well. And I think that's important for us right now. And I think it'll support us as we move into this week. The next thing it will support us in is getting grounded. We need to feel grounded and connected with the earth, feel like we have our feet upon the earth and we're centered within ourselves. When we look at polarizing energy, there is a sense of scattering our energy. It pulls us in different directions, or we feel pulled in different directions. And as we begin to balance energies that have felt polarized, we begin to come into our own self. We anchor within our energy within. And this is an energy that will give us vitality and the ability to move forward and really stay grounded and connected to our sense of self, to what is true and in alignment within our own world, to be able to see that with clarity, to be able to embrace it and receive it without feeling overwhelmed or pulled in a different direction. With that, it's going to bring a sense of clarity. Yeah, clarity, clarity, clarity. I feel like a lot of us have been in that place of claiming clarity and allowing illusions to be shattered and to stand in what we're knowing. But I feel like there's kind of this like final push in this energy right now. And final is kind of a loose word, right? But there's a deep push of release of illusion and letting ourselves have a clarity, even if it doesn't match what we know to be true for others around us. The important thing is that we come into our own truth and we allow ourselves to be at peace with our own truth and make our decisions to reflect that truth. Okay, so now that we've talked about all the ways that magnetite supports us in releasing fears, getting grounded, balancing polarized energies, finding clarity, coming into alignment with ourselves, we're going to lean into this magnetic energy because I feel like this is the next step as we lean into this week and the election energy, and then lean in even further into the rest of this month. It's magnetic. Magnetite is magnetic. And this magnetic energy invites us to get curious about how we can magnetize our vision, our highest vision, our dreams, the things we desire into our lives. It reminds us that we are magnetizing. We can magnetize magic in our lives. Okay, so magnetite gave me a very direct pathway for this. How do we do this? I got curious. What does magnetite see as the steps that we should take when we want to become magnetic in our lives? And the first thing it said was to unplug from polarizing energies. Well, we just talked about that, but it's even more important. And because it used the word unplug, I felt like there was a significance around really letting ourselves detach from media sources. So whether it's TV, social media, getting wherever you get the news, wherever you source information from, external sources. Let yourself unplug this week. Let yourself step back and just have silence within. Go into a more sacred mindset, a more sacred space within yourself. So unplug from polarizing energies. That's the first step to really harness your magnetic energy and to work with magnetite as an ally for magnetizing magic in your life. The next is to reset your energy field. So this is getting outside, spending time in nature, letting yourself really get grounded in you. Slow down. Create space to meditate. Create space to listen within. Lean into your sacred practices even further. So whatever sacred practice you have in your life, maybe it's pulling a card from an oracle deck, maybe it is sitting in meditation, maybe it is just simply having quiet as you enjoy a cup of coffee or tea to begin your day. Maybe it's journaling or sitting with a stone. For me, it's sitting with a stone and allowing the messages to emerge, the insights that it wants to offer about my day-to-day life. Let yourself sink in and really give yourself an energetic reset. So unplug from polarizing energy, give yourself an energetic reset. And then the next is to really anchor your light within. And this energetic reset is going to help you do that. It's going to help you to draw back your energy from all the places it's become hooked into, the things that you've attached to as you're listening to other things going on in the world around you, letting yourself unhook from those places and draw back within so that your light becomes amplified and that it begins to expand. And then the last piece for magnetizing magic in your life is to give yourself a space to listen to, attune to, feel, and discover your inner hopes, dreams, ideas, inspirations, desires. The ones that make your heart sing from a deeply peaceful and aligned and joyful space. As you do this, you're going to find yourself just slowing down and really being in your rhythm rather than the rhythms of the external world. The rhythm that most serves you, the rhythm that allows you to create the life you want to experience, to align with it, is to slow down and be within yours. So as you sink into this week and deeper into this month, I wish you a lot of joy, and I invite you to sink in with magnetite, to spend some time with this stone, whether you have it physically or you tune in simply on the energetic level and allow it to be an ally as you magnetize magic in your world. I wish you a beautiful day, sacred friend, and as always, shine brightly. Bye for now.